Hi everybody, this is Jakub and the first example from today's problem set. We will be talking about permutations and basically counting in how many ways certain things can be done. So let's start from making a pizza. This is a very simplified version of pizza. It doesn't really have that much stuff, but let's say we have some choices here. First, we have dough and cheese. We are told that we can choose from two types of dough, and then we're moving on to choosing the cheese. And how I'm going to mark this is I'm going to draw two arrows from the dough to cheese, and those two arrows will sort of correspond to two different ways we can make this first step, right? So this is our first step of making the pizza, choosing the dough, and I see that I have two different ways of making that step, right? And then I'm moving on to the cheese, and I know that I have 5 ways of choosing the cheese, so whatever is next, I will have 5 arrows going this direction. And that's, I didn't find a better icon. This is the sauce, right? And here I have 3 ways of choosing the sauce to get a final pizza. And the reason I drew those arrows is that basically what they represent is sort of different ways of getting to the pizza. So we start here and we follow those arrows, right? We might pick the first arrow here, the fourth arrow here, and the second arrow here, and they correspond to choosing the first dough, the first type of dough, the fourth type of cheese, and the second type of sauce to put on a pizza. And to get the number of different pizzas, we basically have to count how many different ways there are to follow the arrows and get to this last stage, right? And we can just count them, and we can say, okay, we're counting let's say we are going all up. So we're going here, then here, then here. This is 1. Then we're going here, then we're choosing the other one. This is 2. Here, then here, and then we're choosing the third one. And this is 3. Okay. And you can see that this would take a long time, right? So a simpler way of doing this is to multiply. We have 2 arrows here, 5 arrows here, 3 arrows here, and we can see that every single, once we have done this step, once we are here, that this is that our choice of dough doesn't change what we do later, right? It doesn't impact the choice later. So the number of ways of getting from here to here are going to be the same regardless of what we did before, right? So the number of ways you choose the dough are just multiplied after times whatever happens later. And then the same thing we have here, right? After we made all those choices for the arrows or for the types of dough and cheese, and we are choosing the sauce, it doesn't impact our choice of the sauce. We are not limited in any way, right? So again, it's just multiply, right? And we have 2 choices to make here, 5 choices to make here, and 3 choices to make here. And in total, our amount of choices is equal to the product of all those three choices that we have to make, right? So in total, we have 2 times 5 times 3 choices, and 30. That is equal to 30, which is how many different pizzas we can make. Obviously, I am totally skipping toppings. This is just what the problem says. And the idea here is that we have the sort of multiplication law, that if we have to make one choice in some number of ways and another choice in another number of ways, and they are totally independent of each other, and the total number of choices we can make in the situation is equal to the product of the number of choices we make first, and then the number of choices we make second, and then the number of choices we made after that, and so on and so on and so on, right? Because each just expands our space of choice, right? We can make exactly the same choices later, and then we just add one on top, right? So we can repeat everything, the whole calculation, the same number of times that is equal to the number of choices we have in the last step, okay? Basically just multiply things together. Right, that will be the first example. The answer is 30. We got it, so that is it. Thank you very much, and see you in the second example.